This is an Icon Electrified. No, it's not some resto mod. It is the all-new 2025 Mercedes-Benz G580 with EQ technology. No. Huh, that really is its name. I'm not calling it that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's check out the all-electric G-Wagen. How do you spot the all-electric G-Wagen? Start with the grille, which is specific to the G with EQ technology. It also gets unique wheels and EQ badging on both front fenders. And then in back, you have specific vents on the rear fender flares, as well as the ability to replace the full-size spare tire that's so iconic on the G-Wagen with a carrying case for your charging cable. So it's more of a chiclet kind of shape instead of a full circle. It's up to you really. You can still get a spare if you want. Otherwise, this looks pretty much like every other G-Wagen currently on sale. So what's good about the all-electric G-Wagen? Pretty much what's good about the regular one. You have a ton of physical controls for climate controls. Your off-road controls are still physical as well. They differ from the gas-powered G-Wagen for things like G-Steer and G-Turn, which are EV exclusive features. And then you get 12.3-inch displays for your instrument panel and your touchscreen. It's running an earlier version of the MBUX operating system, but it still works really well. And then to top it all off, you have a cavernous cabin with a ton of headroom, both in the front seats and the back seat. Materials quality is also really good, and at this price, it had better be. The all-electric G-Wagen also retains a lot of the quirks of the regular G-Wagen, like doors that slam shut like a bank vault, push-button door handles, and a locking mechanism that sounds like a rifle bolt. And honestly, if Mercedes ever takes away any of those things, there will probably be a small-scale riot. A lot of what we like about the all-electric G-Wagen comes from its driving experience. It's, in our opinion, sort of the height of luxury to have an EV powertrain. It's very, very quiet, it's non-intrusive. You can have a nice, composed experience in the car while you're going pretty quickly. This is a pretty powerful vehicle. It's a quad-motor EV, one of two currently on sale for luxury EV SUVs. The other is the Rivian R1S. In the G-Wagen, you get 579 horsepower, 859 pounds-feet of torque. Those are performance car numbers, but you're also dealing with something a little bit heavier than a performance car. This weighs almost 3.5 tons, so a 0 to 60 time of 4.6 seconds, according to Mercedes-Benz, is actually pretty impressive, even though that's not really that impressive for an EV, generally speaking. There are plenty that are quicker than that. Another strong suit of the all-electric G-Wagen is its outward visibility, particularly out front. The G-Wagen was originally an off-road vehicle. This still has all the off-road goodies. Seems unlikely people are going to use it for that, but the benefit of this excellent visibility is that I feel really comfortable driving it in city environments, crowded with pedestrians, erratic drivers, people on scooters who don't respect traffic laws, things like that. You can see them all. You have a very low hood. You have marker lights on each fender out front. Visibility out the back could be a little bit better. It's slightly obscured by the electric charger carrier. It would be a little bit more obscured by the traditional spare tire carrier, but still pretty good. Where we start to get into some iffiness in the G-Wagen is with its ride quality. Some on our staff are fans of how the all-electric G-Wagen rides, some less so. I find it to be a little bit bumpy. Others found it calm and comfortable. Again, this is an off-road vehicle, so it does a really good job of sort of eating up bumps and potholes and things like that, but it's just not as comfortable in my estimation as I would like in a daily driver. But again, I'm also in the Chicago area where the roads are notoriously terrible. So give it a test drive, see how you feel about the ride quality, and know that it's probably not going to get better. My other issue with the all-electric G-Wagen is its braking behavior, actually. The recuperation braking settings have adjustable settings that you can adjust via the paddles here. So there's normal, strong, and maximum. It doesn't go all the way down to a stop. It goes to about 5-ish miles an hour, but it's so grippy that I've had a really hard time figuring out how to modulate it. And then once I get to that really low speed, the brakes again are so strong that just a slight tap, once you're almost to 0 miles per hour, and you just stop and rock forward. It's not comfortable. I've actually had my most enjoyable drives without recuperation on, which is unfortunate because another drawback of this almost $200,000 EV is it's only EPA rated to 239 miles of range. That's not really primary car numbers for an EV right now. If you can afford this, that's probably not a concern of yours. It is something to keep in mind. Not necessarily surprising that a 3.5-ton EV with the aerodynamics of a brick wouldn't be the most efficient, but you're not really getting your money's worth in terms of range before you'd have to stop up and charge again. Just something to keep in mind. It's $200,000. You probably have the budget for another car or two at the same time, even if you wanted, but this is not really going to suffice as a first choice car with its current range estimates. It's a shame because it does have a gigantic battery pack for an EV. It's got a 116 kilowatt hour battery pack, but again, all the things that work against that battery pack cut down into the range. I have seen more than 239 miles of range when I've driven it, but it does tend to go down pretty quickly. Another thing that's a little bit unfortunate about this particular vehicle is it has all this great off-road capability, underbody protection, the whole 9 yards, and it has street-oriented tires. So you have all that capability and really no ability to use it because the tires are working against you there. These tires are probably necessary to even eke 239 miles of range out of this EV, but what they are going to do is probably not have the grip to get you over most basic off-road obstacles without more effort than you want to put in and without possibly doing some damage. It does have some cool off-road tech. The quad motor technology lets you do a tank turn. It basically spins the wheels in opposite directions and the G-Wagen just twirls in a circle. That's more of a party trick than an especially useful off-road ability. It is one of the cool things you can do with all electric technology versus a traditional internal combustion powertrain. So cool to see. Not really sure how you'd use it though. The other unfortunate part of the all-electric G-Wagen is just how expensive it is. It's not really breaking news to say that a G-Wagen is expensive. That's like, also I'm announcing that the sky is blue and water is wet. We knew this. And if you're a G-Wagen shopper, you probably don't care that there's an alternative that can do much of the same things, possibly better, for less money. You want a G-Wagen. You want to be seen in a G-Wagen. And if that's the case, have at it. As tested, this particular model, it's an edition 1, so a first edition, little bit of unique touches here and there to separate it from future production models. $192,690, including destination, which is weirdly reasonable at $1,150. That is so much money. And that Rivian R1S we were talking about, the quad motor, faster, more efficient, has a better infotainment system, can also do cool tank turns like the G-Wagen, significantly less expensive. So there is an alternative out there that won't break nearly as much of the bank as this particular SUV will. Besides the driving related problems, there are some ergonomic problems with the cabin as well. It's not very wide in here. The cockpit is very narrow. I don't have a lot of width for my knees. And multiple times while driving, I have hit the door mounted seat controls with my knee, which when you're driving, it's not fun to suddenly shift forward. Also, the steering wheel still uses touch sensitive controls like pretty much every Mercedes-Benz on sale right now. And we still wish they wouldn't because they're prone to user error and just very annoying. In back, the electric G-Wagen continues to suffer from some space efficiency issues. Fortunately, there's enough headroom that I don't feel claustrophobic back here. I'm 6'1", so I don't have enough leg room. That's really the problem. My knees and my shins are up against the back of the seat, especially when it's in my driving position. But the real issue with space in the back seat are these really big, but fortunately optional entertainment screens that just eat into the available space. So it's just strange how small this cabin feels, especially in back, considering how big it feels when you're driving the electric G-Wagen and how big it looks. You feel like there should be a lot more space than there is. If you're looking for a luxurious all-electric quad-motor SUV, it's pretty much this or the Rivian R1S. And while we think the Rivian does pretty much anything this can do, but better and at a lower price, the G-Wagen is all about image. And if that image appeals to you, probably nothing I've said is going to change your mind, and you're not likely going to balk at the ridiculous, ostentatious price of this thing either. For our full review of the 2025 Mercedes-Benz G580 with EQ technology, there, I said it again, I said it one more time, that's it. You can head to Cars.com/news.